Destruction with Under Attack in 2016. So many people, places, organizations say, we're under attack! Are you really? I don't know. So, Destruction. They are 1/4 of the big four of Teutonic thrash metal, which includes Sodom, Tankard, and Kreator. A couple years ago, Kreator with Phantom Antichrist, an album they are still yet to follow up, scored a perfect 10 on this channel, because Phantom Antichrist was absolutely ludicrously insane. So, Destruction being from the same movement probably boasts a lot of the same resiliency, not to mention some of the same excellence, correct? Well, yes and no. They've had an up and down career that has been filled with some really sincere highlights, but also some pretty dark moments. And so far in the 20-teens, their albums have been fairly decent, but by and large, average to slightly above average. So here we are in 2016, 4 years removed from their last album. Is Under Attack going to really kind of turn back the clock a little bit and showcase why thrash at one point was the absolute king of the metal mountain? Well, let's take a look and find out. First thing that I'll say is that if you plan on getting this album, I do recommend getting the deluxe edition, because it does come with 2 additional tracks, bringing the total up to 12. One of those tracks is a cover of black metal, which was originally done by the band Venom, and it features the bassist and the lead singer of the band Kreator, which is very cool. I do highly recommend that. I dig the fact that at the beginning of this disc, or the beginning of this cut, they sort of use an effect to cause the recording to sound a little bit more, I guess, homebrewed, or a little bit more like it sort of fits in the early 1980s aesthetic before thrusting into the actual track itself. I dig how that sort of rises up from that. It's almost like bleeding the track dry, only to re-give it all of its plasma. But we're not here just to talk about that. We're here to talk about the actual album worth of Destruction's material. With Under Attack, the title track starting this one off, a 6.5 nearly minute real opener that gives some fans that were perhaps be brand new to the fold a little bit of an idea of what Destruction and Teutonic thrash is all about. That softer, more melodic opening that you hear that then launches into the main idea, the main concept of this track is something that Destruction has done throughout the years. They are a band that is incredibly direct at times, but whenever they do sort of tear down those walls, sort of push the veil back, they are one that is able to use melody to their advantage. And it is something that you do hear in Teutonic thrash from time to time. Not every single album is going to be a wall-to-wall riff fest like a Sodom disc, either that or have the infectious melody and the songwriting prowess of a Kreator disc. And not everybody can drink beer like Tankard. We'll just throw that out there. But at any rate, this is a fairly decent opener in order to give this album a little bit of momentum moving forward, going into Generation Nevermore, which is also able to sort of maintain that pace. Though there's one thing that I'm starting to recognize once we get into The Throne, is that a lot of this stuff is very high energy, but it's not very memorable. These are tracks that do have some decent choruses, either that or just some great moments to bang your head, but it's not anything that feels like it's breaking the mold all of that much. It feels very atypical. So, thus far, the 2010s trend of Destruction writing, slightly above average to just average albums is sadly continuing. Getting into Getting Used to the Evil, we have the concept just stated outright whenever the track begins. And this is a longer track, but it's also one of the more curious tracks that is boasted on this disc. The construction on Getting Used to the Evil is unlike anything that you're going to hear, not only on this disc, but perhaps in many of your favorite bands' catalogs. It's one that sort of takes the idea of really combining a lot of different elements, combining a lot of different little concepts, and trying to put them together and sort of cut and paste them together into a track. So there are times where it feels a little bit uneven, a little bit unbalanced. There's a moment for about 10 seconds that makes the track feel a bit cheesy, but then it goes into a solo that is anything but. So this is a track that really is all about keeping you on your toes a little bit. And for the record, the first half of this, the first 3 minutes, I find to be actually pretty excellent. I like the way in which that off-balance nature really suits the atmosphere and the overall environment that Getting Used to the Evil really seems to try to emanate from itself. The latter portion of the song, though, feels a little bit disorganized and a bit clustered, and based around that, it sort of knocks off an otherwise fairly unique specimen. Getting into Pathogenic and Elegant Pigs, then we start to get into some material that has been already kind of highly criticized, especially whenever it comes to Elegant Pigs. And Second to None is probably the highlight of all of that, considering it's all about online bullying, supposedly, or online trolls. And I understand that this is a topic that has come up in society. I understand that the boys in Destruction are, no doubt the age where they easily have children if they so desire to do so. And this is something that has gained a lot of media attention, not just in the United States, but worldwide. This is, after all, a worldly problem, since the internet is a worldly thing. But it's something that whenever you hear it in a song, sometimes feels entirely too hokey for words. It doesn't feel like it has the same amount of, real, I guess, fist-in-your-face rebellion, heavy metal attitude that you're used to, principally because it's something that is involving a computer box, computer wires. It's something where there is a large group out there that feels that the whole entire concept could partially be not so much silenced, but at least quelled a little bit just by walking away from the machine and perhaps enjoying some of the wonders of the world. So whenever these songs come out, it's not really that they are necessarily poorly written or anything like that. The subject matter just feels a little strange. It's very strange to hear the word troll, for example, or hater in a heavy metal song, when in reality, haters are usually associated with pop and rap music, or trolls are typically associated with, in the heavy metal exterior, with ideas such as power metal, either that or fantasy metal, something that you might hear from a band such as Rhapsody of Fire or Blind Guardian, something that you'd only expect to hear from Destruction if they were perhaps trying to concoct their own story based off of something very Tolkien-esque or something of that variety. I don't know. It's just something that doesn't feel very, the sincerity is there, but it doesn't feel very, I guess, real. It's a weird way to describe it, but Second to None just comes off as a little bit forced, a little bit off. Something about this track just does not compute. And it actually does something else that kind of sucks, and it throws off the momentum of the disc to the point where it gets a little bit more difficult to recover from it. So a song such as Stand Up For What You Deliver and Conductor of the Void kind of get lost in the shadows a little bit, because you're still kind of taken aback with what you heard within the middle portion of this disc. It really derails the momentum a good bit, and that's kind of a problem. This is a track that maybe you should have released as a bonus cut, as opposed to one that's part of the main album. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Stigmatized is the very final cut on this disc, and it's one that is kind of almost putting this disc to a merciful end, as weirdly and as horribly as that does sound. Really, the riffs on this album are able to give it a little bit of a boost, but overall, the songwriting on this does have one familiar overtone to it, and it's the fact that it just feels kind of par for the course, kind of average, with periods of excellence here and there. Still have to really give a lot of props to Getting Used to the Evil for being really so memorable based around the fact that it was so different compared to the rest of the disc. As far as score is concerned, this is one that was kind of a disappointment, and it's not a disappointment in the same variety as a band that walks in and just doesn't try. This is Destruction that, giving a hell of an effort, but the songwriting just doesn't feel quite as unique as perhaps some albums of the past. At times it feels a bit hokey. So based around that, I give this a 76 out of 100. Now, I understand some people are going to feel differently about this, that some will feel that the songwriting was a strength and actually is able to rise above some of the other problems that the disc may have. And for the record, you have the right to that opinion, and you very well could be right. This is all based around a little bit of subjectivity and based around what really, hits your ears the right or the wrong way. But based off of that, I'd also like to know what you guys think about this. Is this album actually an 8.5 or a 9.0 out of 10 instead of a 76? Is it actually a 40 or a 50? Is this did the momentum being derailed on this disc actually cause you to just completely hate it? Let me know in the comments below. My name is coverkillernation, and Destruction is one of those groups that I hope is able to continue forward. I just hope that the next disc is able to rekindle some of those old glorious memories of the past from this band and give them a great spin here in the modern age. It's no doubt what they've been attempting to go for with these past few discs, but hopefully the next one is able to channel it a little bit better, at least in my mind. For all intents and purposes, you can Keep doing what you want. It's up to you. It's all objective. Subjective. Rejective. Conflictive. I'm making up words. We're going to turn the camera off now. Yeah. Bye.